Hey there guys, this is Steve Horseman here with Shayna James. We're in Santa Monica, California. We're at a coaching intensive where we're learning all kinds of stuff. You might think that a coaching intensive is here to teach us how to be great coaches, but some of the stuff we're working on is deep personal work. There's a quote that the head coach here has been using a lot lately, and he says, you'll never be able to take a client any deeper than you have been willing or allowed somebody else to take yourself. You can't take anybody else deeper than you've been willing to take yourself. When it comes to relationships, when it comes to sex and intimacy with women, Shane and I agreed that it's impossible for a man to take a woman any deeper, intimately or sexually, than he's been willing to go himself. And that may confuse you, and what we wanted to do in this short video is just share some insights about what it means to take yourself more deeply in an intimate manner that gives you the confidence and the leadership ability to invite somebody else to go with you. And so I'm going to ask Shayna to go first and try to decipher that, and then I'll give you my insights. What do you think? Oh, by the way, we just want to say, hey, we haven't been together for a year.
We haven't been together for a year. We met a year ago here, so it's really exciting.
In this restaurant.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I was just thinking about a man who I recently watched who was sharing something vulnerable, and he said, you know, a year ago or 6 months ago, I wouldn't have even been able, I didn't even know I had emotions. Or I didn't feel, when something happened, I didn't feel it in my body. And I was thinking about that because, you know, when you are connecting with a woman, if you actually can't feel your own emotions, if you can't feel your own heart, if you can't feel your own body, then you only have this small channel with which to connect with her. And I think that is where so many relationships fail or don't even get started in the first place, because for single men, you know, there's this heady conversation that happens, and then there's, you know, the friend zone.
Yeah.
And then in relationship, it's where passion fades and the spark fades, because if you're not continually feeling what life is like instead of just thinking about what life is like, then you don't actually get to be heart connected. And the other thing we were saying is that, you know, it's more important, or it happens first, that you get into a woman's heart before you get into her pants.
Yeah. Heart before pants.
Heart before pants, that's the motto.
That's an easier way to say you can't take a woman any deeper, any more deep intimately than you've been willing to take yourself. Another way to say that, until you learn how to get into her heart, you'll never get into her pants. So what does it mean for me? This has been a really edgy weekend because we get into a lot of personal growth stuff, which means knowing yourself really well. This head thing that Shane is talking about, for us guys, at least for me, I'll speak for me, you can tell me if you agree with any of this. We live in a cerebral world of sexuality sometimes, and cerebral sexuality for us, a lot of it is a story. It's a fantasy. It could be a porn video. It could be anything you remember that is extremely arousing and hot, and that's not heart space. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, if we lead with that, if that's as deep as we've ever gone in our sexuality and our knowledge of intimacy and connection that lives up here, it's not going to be seen or understood or even trusted by a woman. And so going deeply into knowing yourself intimately, knowing what you really want, what you believe, what you feel, your vulnerability, the things that scare you, the things that thrill you.
The whole range of it.
Yeah, the range, right. When we're able to share that is what opens a woman's heart. I think we talked about that on the webinar.
Well, it also feels like to me it also translates into, I mean, sometimes I talk about sex because it's the most concrete and easiest way to understand, right?
Yeah.
The range of you being willing to know your desires, your fears, your frustrations, the things that you feel grief about, actually translates in the bedroom into, oh my God, we can have playful sex and beautiful lovemaking and kinky, wild, whatever, and, you know, the whole range.
Yeah, kinky, wild, whatever. And so I just went right up here, right, as soon as she said that. And so that's that thing we have to practice. We did an exercise where we had to connect our right brain to our heart with the golden thread, you know, woo-woo stuff. But the stuff I love about this is that you get clear about what it is you really want in your heart. And when you can communicate from there to a woman, there's a place of trust. And you feel more confident in yourself. And so I guess that's what we wanted to leave you with.
Well, I just thought, wow, okay, if there was one concrete thing we wanted to leave them with, or one practice,
Yeah.
what would it be?
What would it be?
One practice.
One practice to take yourself deeper, more intimately, to get out of the headspace of intimacy, which is defined by just sexuality and physical touch. Think about your heart. Think about how you would make love to her heart first. How would you speak to a woman? How would you be with her? What would your energy be like to let her body receive the energy of, he just wants to connect with my heart?
Yes, and bring my practice, that would be to bring that first, which can be a challenge. I know often there's a way that sex can open you to that place or to that loving place, but it is a practice, right? It's like building a muscle to see what would it be like to actually be able to speak from your heart, or to speak from love first.
Yeah. Send us some questions on that. We'd love to help you out. You know how to get a hold of us. Just reply to this YouTube video, or Steve at Good Guys to Great Men. You can reach Shana James at
Shana, Shana, at readytodateagain.com. And it's ready number 2, just like Steve is Good Guys number 2, Great Men.
Yeah. I had a guy recently said, you know, I didn't think you'd answer my email. Another guy said, the only reason I called you is because you said, you know, well, it's not about the money, right? It's not about the money. We're here to improve ourselves, to be able to serve you. We want you to email, to call, so we can answer your emails and your phone calls and talk about that. This entire thing is a conversation that is meant to help you become a stronger, more confident, clear man that you want to be.
I like it.
How about that?
Okay.
So thanks for showing up, you guys. We'll talk to you later. Bye,
Thank
Shana.
you.